Hey, all right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the sincere apostles and elders of a great millstone who are my teachers. And peace and salutations to you brothers out there preaching this word in truth and sincerity. This is the brother Yahweh Sap with another lesson and just another addition to the daily motivation, man. Just going into the beauty of wisdom, man, and how pleasant it is to have her. You know, and we know that wisdom comes from the Heavenly Father first and foremost, and we know that the beginning of wisdom is to fear Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And so we all should be striving to obtain wisdom. We should all be striving to obtain the knowledge of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, through His Son, Yahweh Shai, man, because this is where our salvation is coming from. This is our comfort in times of despair, man. This is where we look unto when everything else is falling apart. And then whenever Esau cracks down with his MOTB, his NWO as well, we're going to be looking for Yahweh Shai to crack them clouds open and save us. And we see that these days are approaching, man. You got volcanoes erupting. All right, you got uproars of the people. So the signs of the times are here. All right, and if you're not paying attention, well, it's going to overtake you. But those of us who fear Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai, we know how beautiful it is to have wisdom. And so just something I wanted to go ahead and go into. Shouldn't be too long, but if it is, it's all through the Spirit, man. So first thing I want to start off with is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. And I'm going to start at verse 22. It says, "For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. For in her is an understanding spirit holy, one only, manifold, subtle, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the thing that is good, quick, which cannot be letted, ready to do good." And that's right, because she sits on the right hand of the Heavenly Father. She sits by His throne, man. All right, and so it says, verse 23, "Kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power, overseeing all things, and going through all understanding, pure and most subtle spirits." And so that's right. So wisdom is only given unto those who strive for it, man. All right, who show their faith through their works. All right, and who ultimately show the Heavenly Father that, hey, they're down with Him, and so we know that she teaches all things, because pertaining to the book of Proverbs, and then even in this book, the Wisdom of Solomon, it tells you that she was there when the Most High created all things. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Okay, Khan. Real quick before I continue here, I'm going to jump to the book of Proverbs, chapter 3. And this is essentially going into the same thing, but it's beautiful. The King Solomon really puts wisdom in a beautiful light, man, in a precious light. So this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 13. It says, "Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold." And that's right, because as you're about to find out, she moves through all things. She knows all things. She was there when the Most High established the earth. And so it says, verse 15, "She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor." And through this wisdom, through this understanding of the Heavenly Father, are we going to obtain salvation. All right, and that's what we're looking forward to, man, because when our kingdom is established by the righteousness of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai, established by the wisdom that He has, it's never gonna fall, man. It's gonna be precious. It's gonna be beautiful, comely. As a bride adorned for her husband, dressed up. All right, when we receive the land, it's gonna be green. All right, it's gonna be flourishing with life, and that's what we're looking forward to. And the only way we're gonna obtain that is by taking hold of wisdom. All right, and so it says, I'll read verse 15 again. "She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace." And that's right, because once you obtain wisdom, there's a certain understanding that you have as to why things happen the way that they happen. Like King Solomon, he describes why the wind blew in a certain direction. He knew. Let me go ahead and grab it. It's back in the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Um, but he knew those things, and so through wisdom are we know him as well. Wisdom in Solomon chapter 7, and I'm gonna start at verse 13. It says, I learn diligently and do communicate her liberally. I do not hide her riches. And that's right. Like it says in Proverbs 1, she's out in the chief place of concourse, crying out to the people, telling them to learn wisdom, because without wisdom, you're really not gonna be able to learn the way of life. And so it says, continuing it, verse 14, for she is a treasure unto men that never faileth, which they that use become the friends of God. And that's right. When you use wisdom, then you start becoming the friend of the Most High Yahweh, because you're putting that fear is put inside of you, and you're going to do the will of the Heavenly Father. And through doing the will of the Heavenly Father, are you going to be taught, all things in due time, of course. And so it says, being commended for the gifts that come from learning, Yahweh hath granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as is meet for the things that are given me, because it is he that leadeth unto wisdom and directeth the wise. So ultimately, you being led by wisdom is you being led by the Heavenly Father. And it says, for in his hand are both we and our words, all wisdom also, and knowledge of workmanship. For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely, to know how the world was made, and the operation of the elements, the beginning, ending, and midst of the times, the alterations of the turning of the sun, and the change of the seasons, the circuits of years, and the positions of stars. So King Solomon, he knew all this through the wisdom that was given unto him. All right. And knowledge is, they say knowledge is power. When you gain this knowledge, it makes you come into a deeper understanding as to why the Most High is omnipotent, man, because you see that the stars in heaven, they each have a position. They have a certain place that they were put in, that's where they were commanded to stay there and shine. And so it says in verse 20, the natures of living creatures, and the furies of wild beasts, the violence of winds, and the reasonings of men, the diversities of plants, and the virtues of roots. So you even learn how to make healing. Herbs, healing herbs. Why men fight over whatever the hell they fight over, man. You understand. You come into that understanding. And it may not be given to you all at the same time. We may not get on the level that King Solomon or Yahushua was, but it actually is written, that we're going to do greater things than what Yahushua did, because he's going unto his Father. So all this understanding, really, when you think about it, it is going to be given unto us. When we attain those new bodies, we're gonna understand all these things. We're gonna understand the weight of fire. We're gonna understand the how to call back the time that is past, and much more. All right. And so it says, verse 21, Wisdom of Solomon 7:21, and all such things as are either secret or manifest, them I know. And it goes on that this is where we started off, for wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. So King Solomon was taught by wisdom, which ultimately is given by the Heavenly Father. All right. And so back in the book of Proverbs chapter 3, and continuing it back in the book of or back in verse 18, it says, she is a tree of life to them that laid hold upon her, and happy is everyone that retaineth her. Yahweh by wisdom hath founded the earth, by understanding hath he established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down dew. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. And when you get into that word discretion, all right, and this is why it's beautiful to have wisdom, all right, because you'll understand how to do this. Discretion is the ability to perceive and understand, prudence, sagacity regarding one's conduct, discernment, power to make distinctions. So you'll no longer be moving in a way that's foolish, but instead you'll be making wiser decisions. All right, you'll move with that spirit of wisdom, which knows all things, because she was there with the heavenly Father when these things were established. And so it says, verse 22, so shall they be life unto thy soul and grace to thy neck. Then shalt thou walk in thy ways safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yeah, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet, because you understand, that ultimately the Heavenly Father is in control of all things. So if you're moving with wisdom, with that understanding, all right, and you're able to execute that understanding that you have, all right, you'll no longer get into serious altercations, which of course, it all depends on the lot that you're walking. But when you walk with wisdom, the things that happened unto you before, they shouldn't happen again, because you're no longer moving in that same way that you were moving. And I pray that this is making sense. I'm hoping that I'm explaining it in a way that you're able to understand. But pretty much, like, say for example, you're out there on the highways and hedges, and you're preaching, and you see a guy walk up. Hey, you might not, the experience that you have, you might be inexperienced, and he's just asking questions. Well, you might be feeling like he's scoffing at you when he's just being sincere in his questions, and you brush him off. Well, when you have wisdom, you have that understanding. He comes up, he starts asking questions. You're more patient. All right, you're able to listen attentively. You're able to turn that question around, even if it is scoffing. Turn that question around and turn it into edification for the sheep. Because that's using wisdom. The fear of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, first and foremost, knowing that at any time anything can pop off, and then second, knowing that this dude, all right, that walked up, you've had experience already, so now okay, he's just asking questions. It'd be better for me to answer them, in a what's it called, civil way, and get edification out, than to just scream at the man and get upset and feel like he's scoffing. That's just an example. But once you obtain wisdom, these situations like that, they get easier to deal with. And so it says, Khan, okay, Khan, yeah, that was pretty much it here. So we'll jump back to the Book of Wisdom of Solomon 7, and we'll continue it there. All right, and so back in the Wisdom of Solomon 7, chapter 7 and verse of 24, it says, for wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of Yahweh, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her. So you're not gonna make foolish decisions if wisdom is with you. If she's there walking with you. It says, verse 26, for she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High, and the image of his goodness. So, we want to be like the Most High, pure, holy, all right, perfect, all right. We would like to be omnipotent, but that belongs unto him. We'll allow him to take that mantle up, as he already has. All right. And so it says in verse 27, and being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new. And in all ages, entering into holy souls, she maketh them the friends of God and prophets. And that's right. So we're only able to prophesy because the Most High had given us the spirit of wisdom, and that spirit to fear him, to follow after his laws, statutes, and commandments. All right, to do his will, that way we may live. All right, because that's what it's all about, man. The Most High, he sent Yahweh Shai so that way we can live, so that way we can obtain this new covenant, this new glory that he has set aside for us. All right, and as we just read, she enters into holy souls, and so if you obtain wisdom, you're a holy soul, Kodash soul, man. And so it's beautiful to have. All right, because this leads unto salvation. And we become friends of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. We become friends, and that's a good thing to have, is the omnipotent power on your side as your friend. Someone who is able to see what you're doing at all times and correct you when you're going wrong. And overall, really having mercy upon you, because you go out in the world, man. You go out in the world today, you're not gonna find no mercy. Hey, it's gonna be a rare thing if you do find it that someone has mercy upon you. You try to fight for your job when Esau's firing you, man. See how well that goes for you. All right, or you try to fight a ticket, when Esau pulls you over, and is giving you a ticket. you know you try to buy some food. You got $20, the food is $21. You see if someone will help you out. You'll see if someone has that mercy upon you extended towards you. If the Most High is not with you and he doesn't put the spirit on them to have that mercy upon you, well, then you're not going to find it, because ultimately mercy comes from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. So really it's mercy that we are given this wisdom, this understanding, this knowledge, once again. And to be considered a friend of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is something that you should be striving for, man. All right, because these are the things that we're gonna obtain, and we know that wisdom, she's unspotted. Hey, she comes from the Heavenly Father. All right, she's likened unto a comely woman, as we're about to get into. She's the most beautiful thing that you can ever obtain. She's more precious than rubies. Even a virtuous wife cannot be compared unto her. All right, so Wisdom of Solomon 7 and verse 28 says, "For Yahweh loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom. For she is more beautiful than the sun, and above all the order of the stars. Being compared with the light, she is found before it. For after this cometh night, but vice shall not prevail against wisdom." And let's get that word vice just for edification's sake. All right. Vice, moral fault, wickedness, fault, failing, defect, irregularity, misdemeanor, defect, offense, blemish, imperfection. So even our vices, our imperfections are not going to prevail against wisdom. All right, because what's going to happen through wisdom? Are we going to overcome through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, who gives us wisdom, should I say? Are we going to overcome and obtain new bodies, even in this mortal flesh, even in this flesh that is set at enmity against the Heavenly Father? So this is something that you should find precious in your sight. And that's speaking to myself first and foremost. And so with that being said, man, I pray that this lesson was edifying, uplifting of the spirit. Adawan Radazah. These continue to go up daily. And may Yahweh Bashim Yahushua be with us and give us wisdom, all right, and glory, man. And may we be raised up when Yahweh Shai gets called to crack them clouds open, man. So with that being said, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. And to the next time I say, Shalom.